Our first speaker tonight graduated from the Humphrey School last month with her Master of Public Policy. An impressive and ambitious young woman, Tory Duoos, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, discovered her passion for working with refugee communities as an undergraduate. Upon entering the Humphrey School in 2014, she was selected as one of 4 inaugural recipients of the Marvin Borman Public Service and Community Engagement Fellowship. This fellowship, established in honor and in memory of Marvin Borman, is the result of one of the most generous scholarship gifts to the Humphrey School in our history. And before I introduce Tory, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the Borman family's contribution. We are enormously grateful to the Borman family, and we are delighted that Marvin's wife, Betty, and his son, Tom, are here with us tonight. This fellowship was established for students of public policy committed to lives of service, as was Marvin Borman in a remarkable manner, from education and the arts and healthcare to the legal and physical and psychological protection of vulnerable communities to economic development. Marvin Borman's engagement with this community reflected the spirit of the commitments that animated the political life of our institution's namesake, Hubert Humphrey. Over the past few years, we've been honored to learn more about this distinguished Minnesotan, this distinguished American who led such a life of service. And we've been delighted by the chance to visit with members of the Borman family. To carry out a new tradition of introducing the Borman Fellows at this annual Public Leadership Dinner, let me welcome to the stage Tory Duoos. I'm going to sit right behind you.
Good evening, and thanks to everyone for being here to celebrate some of our most accomplished leaders. It's inspiring to hear about people who have made local, national, and global impacts. The Marvin Borman Public Service and Community Engagement Fellowship afforded me the opportunity to attend the Humphrey School and launch my career in human rights. So I'm excited to share my story with you tonight. As a freshman in college, I interned at a refugee resettlement agency in Chicago, where I dedicated my free time over the next 4 years. I developed a passion for working with refugees and never expected that volunteer work would change the course of my life, but it has. After graduation, I accepted a position as a resettlement case manager. On my first assignment, I headed to the airport to welcome a family of 14 from Bhutan who had been living in a refugee camp for 18 years. I asked the family what they had heard about their new country, the United States. One boy said he had heard that dogs are treated better than people, and another was told that Americans publicly walk around in their underwear. After spending a summer at the Chicago beach, they confirmed that both of these statements were true. I can verify that this career path is neither glamorous nor lucrative, as many of you know. Ours is a career of compassion, dignity, love, and humanity. After 2 years at the resettlement agency, I wanted to learn about the asylum process, since only 1% of the world's refugees are resettled to a country like the United States. I wondered what others were experiencing. So I headed to Cambodia with the Jesuit Refugee Service, where I accompanied Muslim Rohingya from Burma through the asylum process and learned about their struggle with statelessness. I then embraced an opportunity with the United Nations Refugee Agency in Ecuador to work with Colombians who continue to flee the 50-year armed conflict. Through my experiences, I gained a holistic perspective of the refugee journey. Yet, I was missing a key component of how to address many of the injustices and human rights violations that I saw along the way. That's when I looked towards the Humphrey School. I returned home to Minnesota to begin a Master's of Public Policy as a Borman Fellow. In pursuing a career in human rights, it's practically expected that you complete an unpaid internship, if not several. Without generous donations like the Borman families, young people who are passionate about human rights may be unable to follow this career path. My master's degree is opening doors to opportunities that previously appeared out of reach. During my time at the Humphrey School, I completed a project with Human Rights Watch and learned how to be an effective advocate last summer at Refugees International in Washington, D.C. I chose to attend Humphrey not only because of the unique opportunities it would offer, but I was also inspired to study at an institution led by Dean Schwartz, who commits his life's work to refugees and migrant issues. I came to Humphrey with the hopes of taking my frontline experiences with refugees and connecting them to policies that can have a real impact. I witnessed how U.S. policies affect the lives of individuals around the world. Now, with the tools the Humphrey School has given me and the skills that I've developed under the guidance of our outstanding professors, I am primed to make a difference, and I'm excited to honor Mr. Borman's legacy by continuing to serve vulnerable populations. The Borman Fellowship was established to support generations of future leaders, and I am pleased to introduce the current Borman Fellows, who are benefiting in the same way that I have. Haley Kramer is a second-year Master of Public Policy student. Before coming to the Humphrey School, she was a flutist and worked for several arts organizations, including Northrop and Hennepin Theater Trust. She hopes to apply her Master's of Public Policy degree and arts fundraising experience as an innovator in community cultural development and creative placemaking. Lawrence Carongo tells us his passion is for work surrounding social economic justice. Raised here in Crystal, Minnesota, Lawrence is also a second-year Master of Public Policy student and is concentrating his studies on advanced policy analysis. And Andy Holdner will enter the Humphrey School this fall, planning to concentrate on policy analysis and social policy. Since graduating from St. Ben's, she has been working on affordable housing with Project for Pride in Living. They are here tonight, and I ask that they please stand to be recognized and congratulated. On behalf of Haley, Lawrence, and Andy, and myself and future fellows, I would like to once again thank the Borman family for their generous contribution to support students seeking careers in public service. Thank you.
Great job.